Welcome ladies and gentlemen. So last time we will discuss icons and rows, and today we will be discussing elevated buttons, basically the buttons which you need to click to perform any action. So let's quickly open up our simulators both for Android and iOS. Okay, so that's our app, and this is how the app looks like, and very simple. So Android is opening up, iPhone has already opened, sorry, iPad has already opened. And to write our button, we simply need to write a elevated button widget. All right, so if you just maybe if I can run it on let's say Android, I'm going to run it. And while this is running, let me open up quickly iPhone as well. So open simulator and let's open iPhone 12 Pro Max. Okay, great. So while this is running, I'm going to run it on iPad. Yeah, so this is the iPad. I'm going to run that. And let me also quickly run it on a Chrome browser. Okay, so this is how the app looks like. Of course, we are not going to sort out the issue of overflow. We will discuss it in details in future, but just in case, because they are duplicate, I'm going to quickly delete it. And if you just want to see it, I'm going to make a hot reload. Of course, it is overflowing on the right hand side. We're not going to fix it for now. So let's discuss elevated buttons. So to make an elevated buttons, so just like elevated buttons have certain properties, and because it's a button, it has some predefined properties, like I need to do some action on it. When I press it, what should I do? And if I don't define what should I do after on pressing it, nothing will work. So it will become a disabled button. So these are my children. So let's say after first row, or a combination of a row widget, I'm going to put up a button. So elevated button is the widget name, and as you see, it has certain mandatory what is. So what should happen on press? Let's say I don't want to do anything, I'll write null. And of course it needs to have a child, like what should be, you want to put up an icon, you want to put up a text. Let's say we want to put up a text, and the text will be click me for magic. All right, so very simple. Let's, because this is my function, I'm going to put a comma and I'm going to do a hot reload. So how it looks on your Android, very simple. This is click here me for magic. Now as you see, when I click something, nothing is happening, and it's also grayed out. And the reason it is grayed out is simply because on pressed event is null. So how it looks on your iPad, click it, click me for magic, very similar look and feel, and it's also disabled. How it looks on your browser, I'm going to do a hot reload, and let's see how it looks. Of course it is going to reload, and we'll see. We haven't run it on our iPhone, so I'm quickly going to do that as well. So on your browser also, kick me is disabled. As you see, the disable icon is being shown on your browser. Okay, so what should we do? But before we make something on pressed, because that probably will come under advanced functionality, just like any widget, we can do customization. So we can do styling. So how to do a styling? So to do a styling, we need to define a elevated button dot style from. So let's say we want to do some styling. So what should we do? Like on pressed and child, we can also define style. Okay, so if you, because the line might be longer, I'm going to put it in a new line. So the style will be elevated button dot style, elevated button dot style from. And what kind of style? Let's say I want to make this text a little bit bigger. So just like a text, I am going to give it a text style, and the text style will be empty text style, and I'm going to put up a font size to it. And so font size will be let's say 30. Okay, so we have screwed up some brackets, so this is closing here. I'm going to delete that. Is something wrong with it? Yeah, for style from, and it will be a text style, and that text style will be of text style, and that text style will be of font size 30. Okay, so this text style is closing over here, and that's fine. Font size, okay, S is small as well, so okay, all looks good. Let me do a hot reload, and this is how a hot reload. Now the button has become bigger. Hot reload on your Chrome, hot reload on your iPad, and hot reload on your Android. Okay, so the button has become bigger, but it's again grayed out. So let's say I don't want to make it grayed out, but I don't have any functionality. Of course, I can write a function which do nothing, and simple way to do it is it should have a function, and let me write an inline function which does nothing. Okay, so this will execute this function, and the body of that function is absolutely null. So if I do a hot reload, yeah, so what has happened over here is now this button is clickable, but again it will do nothing simply because I haven't given a code to it. So I hope this thing is clear so far, and let's do what you say as some more styling. So let's give it some more style. Let's say I want to identify that a different color scheme to it, and since I'm already doing a style, so I have given a text style right now. So let's give it a primary color. So when you put it your mouse on style from, so we can have a primary color, we can have a surface color, we can have a primary. So primary and on primary are different things. So primary is actually your button color, which in this case is blue, and on primary is primary on primary, so which is this white color text which is it written. So if I want to change the text color, it's on primary, and if I have to change the button color, it's a primary. Okay, so surface color is basically when the icon or you can say the button gets disabled. So if I disable it, if you see the right now color is gray. So let's do that. So I'm going to give it you can say on surface color. So if I give it on surface color, color, okay, again I should have written it over here. Okay, so your on surface color will be again C capital and S capital. So your on surface color, what kind of color we should give it as on surface color? So let me give my on surface color as on surface colors dot, let's say I want to give it a red color. Yeah, sorry. So if I reload, so what will happen is again I cannot see on surface because now it is not disabled. So I'm going to give it a null again, and if I hot reload, yeah, so it has made a version of red because the button is now disabled. And if I do a reload on iPad, your Chrome, and your iPhone, so everywhere the button from gray has changed. But if I want to enable it, I again have to write an empty function with an empty body. But again, when it's enabled, this on surface will not affect. The colors which will affect on if you see your style form, the color which we have defined over here is on surface, but now we can give primary and on primary. So give it a comma. Let's say we give it a primary color. So primary color is your button color, and that can be colors dot what kind of color we want. Let's say we want a purple color icon. So if I run it, so you see purple color with white text on it, because we have not defined on primary. Same way on Android, the button has become purple, and of course I can click it, and as usual it will not supposed to do anything. And now if I have to change the color of your text as well, then I have to define on primary. So on primary, let's say I want to write it black. So colors dot black. All right, so let's do a hot reload, and this time it's black. There is one more property like elevation. Elevation is how you can say elevated the button is just by name. If I give it 30 and you execute it, yeah, you can see a button elevated because I can see a little bit of shadow under it. Same way if I do a hot reload on your iPad, your Chrome and your iPhone, yeah, so the button is now elevated, a little bit different. So if I have to define another you can say elevated button, I'm going to copy all of it, and since I have copied that, I'm going to press enter over here and paste. So let's say I write click me 2 for magic. Okay, so and I execute it, and it will be an entire duplicate copy of it, right? So if I again give it a null, I'm going to disable that, and then your this on surface color it will show. Okay, so this is now a shade of gray. So sorry, if you want to change this color from red to any other color, let's say embarrassant, it will change that shape. Yeah, of course, it make visibility hard. So based on the theme your company has given you, you may want to take that. If I put deep orange, let's run that, and now it's a deep orange. Okay, so the one thing which you will notice is, because buttons are extremely common in app and you need to have a uniform look and feel, so writing all this is going to be extremely cumbersome. So there must be an easy way to do it whereby I need not to repeat all of it. So the way to do that is I need to define a style. So how do I define a style? As you see, this style is of type button style. So this is where my function is starting, and this is where the return is happening. So let's make a button style. So since my style, you see, is of type, if you put your mouse, is of type button style. So this is my type. So let me create a button style object, and the variable will be, let's say, style1. Okay, and then entire thing, this elevated style right up to here, I'm going to do a copy, and I'm going to paste it here. Now all these things is, now of course it needs to end with a semicolon. So all these things is now defined as style1. So the benefit which I will get is, like, I'm now need not to write all these things. So my style, which is of type button style, I can define it as style1. Okay, and end with a comma, and that's perfect. All I need to do is ensure the brackets are closed properly. right? So if I change here from let's say null to again a full-fledged function, and it's a copy, and if I change here purple to let's say a different color, brown, and I run it, so this will become brown. This is not becoming brown because here I defined that style, but here it is still manual. So if I delete the entire stuff again and I put it as style 1 and I do a hot reload, so both come. So you have to define, and let's say I want to make the size from 35 to just 25, and I run it. Yeah, the button shrinked. Now I write once and this will become my style. That style can be given based on the look and feel given to you by the customer, and now you can have those buttons. Over here you can define the functionality, what the button should do on click, but the good thing is that this style is now uniform, so you make your style once and use it wherever you want. All right, so let me run it on every simulator. Yeah, you see now it's very uniform the way it is defined. Of course we have these issues of overflow. There is a little bit of overlap, and of course for that we need to define a you can say a container in it to make things easy and define a certain size for it. So if you have want a little bit of easiness, put it in a box. But as you see, the things work perfectly fine whether you do it on your browser or on your iPhone or on your Android and even your tablet. So that's the beauty of Flutter. I hope you understand and you enjoyed how to write your elevated button. This on pressed functionality is a basic functionality which you can use your programming. Just say if you want to do 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, just write that code over here. Very simple. So I hope you enjoyed. Please like it, subscribe it, share it, and also pass it on to your friends who want to learn Flutter. And I see you in next session. Thank you very much, and I see you soon. Peace.